Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Call It RevOps, and today we're talking about the next trend in RevOps, which is no longer RevOps being RevOps, but
Is it
instead,
RevOps or is it just like a
no,
trend in general? Because I mean, it's just
yeah,
gonna come around to some sort of ops, right?
yeah.
But
We're replacing the skinny jeans of RevOps with the baggy jeans of go-to-market or GTM ops. So the new
oh
buzzword
wait, hold on.
stealing,
Let me change as well. Let me change since we're gonna go out with RevOps, so it's not a thing anymore, and I don't have another hat, so let me just swap it out.
there you go.
Brand new, same exact thing. I mean, completely different. RevOps with a better haircut, better hat. Let's go. All right,
It
we
would
can
have
do
been
this episode
hilarious to bring back the same hat and just put it on and just be like, this is now GTM ops.
now. Yeah, all right.
So yeah, I mean, buzzword alert, GTM ops. This is
Yeah.
what we've heard in the marketplace. I think it's the attempt once again to redefine something or to give it relevance once again, even though it doesn't need to be. And I think we even did an episode on this, right? Is RevOps a buzzword or is it just a trending topic? Um, go to
I mean,
market operation.
we might have to rethink our entire go to
Yeah.
market with the brand. I mean, I just made these shirts. I just got those. I mean, no, I've had those for a while, but now what? Like, do we need to? Should we now just change the website to GTM Ops or call it GTM Ops, and that
Yeah.
should be the next one.
Call it go to market. I mean, I think when we think about what RevOps was originally intended to be, it was the shift from kind of marketing ops, sales ops, and giving a holistic view of it. Go to market operations is the hot new title, but where did it come from and why are people adopting it? I think the goal is always the same, right? It's about revenue. And is it just RevOps with a different haircut?
Yeah, I mean, so there's many things if you've been following it on LinkedIn about what go to market operations now really means. It's coordination across teams. I haven't heard that before in my entire life. It's collaboration to make sure that we're executing campaigns properly. So marketing operations people are really go to market operations because we're the ones who are going out and sending emails and going, doing a go to market strategy and executing on it. And now what they say is that revenue operations is no longer that function anymore. They're just overseeing how everything is working, which is a little bit of bullshit, right? Because the whole entire intent of revenue operations was to look at how everything is working and execute strategies and align with changes. But no, 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 it's no longer that. It's now go to market operations is separate from revenue operations. And honestly, I don't know how. But if you look at like, I'm going to Google real quick, go to market operations, right? I'm just going to do it right now. Go to market operations. And it says go to market operations. This is the first thing that pops up, right? Integrates all customer facing functions, including marketing, sales, customer success. It's so silly I can't even pronounce it correctly, and product development to efficiently bring a product or service to market and achieve sustainable goal. It's a holistic approach that aligns these departments towards a common goal, unlike traditional sales operations or revenue operations, which revenue operations is meant for revenue generation. I mean, that's the biggest bull I've ever seen
So
in my entire
selling a
life.
product is different than revenue up than getting revenue.
Correct. So
Okay.
now that's the
Okay.
distinction, though, right?
Yeah.
That's the distinction. A
Mhm.
RevOps leader is focused on revenue, and now go to market operations is focused on go to market. So pretty much what we've done is we've said that there was marketing and there was sales, and then we said revenue operations sits on top of it, oversees the whole thing. And now we're saying is no, we're just gonna now split it again. And now marketing operations is go to market operations, and revenue operations is just pretty much sales. Like we're just looking at everything a little bit more holistically now. I think that's what I'm seeing. Key aspects. Here's some key aspects. Kind of. Let's see if you heard these before. A holistic approach considers the entire customer journey. GTM operations considers the entire customer journey from an initial awareness
Mhm.
to post purchase agreement, cross functional alignment, bridging gaps. We're always bridging gaps between sales, customer success, product, and marketing teams. So I guess they added product,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Because it was, yeah, right. Like they
that's
added
true.
one more team. Data driven decision making. GTM operations relies on data and analytics like nothing ever
Mhm.
ever relied on data and analytics. and the focus is on the customer. So we just did an episode about how
Interesting.
retention and expansion is what you should be focusing on. But
Yeah.
now the focus is on the customer, right? It's not sales operations. It's not a marketing strategy. It's increased efficiency, improved customer experience, enhanced revenue growth. It's going to give you a competitive advantage. How? I have no fucking clue. But
Yeah.
it's going to give you one. That's one of the bullet points.
Now, my family in particular, we have been in the market. We made a purchase recently for a car, but we were in the market for a 3-row vehicle, and there was the Toyota Grand Highlander, and then the Lexus version, which was about twice the cost. And we were evaluating them on paper. These two things were the exact same, which I'm thinking it's just a rebrand that's costing the money, that's giving it more value, that's making you perceive that it's a better product.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up Lexus. Do you know what Lexus stands for?
The actual name, no, I know it's the luxury of Toyota, but I don't know what Lexus means.
So it's a luxury brand. The reason and the way that they came up with Lexus is the Toyota, who kind of owns the entire whole Lexus brand. They said that who pays for luxury the most? Well, the US does, right? So then Lexus is luxury export to the US.
That's interesting.
Lexus, us
Wow.
US. So
Ah, okay.
so it's the same product
Mhm.
with maybe a couple updates, I guess. Maybe we added in product or something like that. But that's what Lexus means. So if if you ever bought a Lexus thinking it's a premium version of Camry, or Camry, sorry, if you ever bought a Lexus thinking it's a
Yeah,
premium version of anything, like from a Toyota perspective, it's the same engine, same build, same
yeah.
frame, same everything, new polish. And then the reason and the way that they came up with the brand of Lexus is luxury export LXX to
Mm.
the US Lexus. That's how they came up with that brand name, which
There
is
is
in
a
the
parallel.
title.
Yeah, there is a
So
parallel here, right? There is a parallel of the rebrand of, okay, well, you want to be involved, be more involved with the go-to-market operation. There
yeah,
you go, GTM
there you go.
ops.
There you go. That's your GTM option. And mind you, like the company has come out and denied it. They're like, no, it's just
Mhm.
a luxurious and image and blah blah blah. And they tried to circle back on it, but it's 1,000%. Like if you look at like the
Yeah.
original idea behind Lexus on how to sell the same product with a higher markup, that is it.
Mhm.
Like that was the intent behind it. Do we really know? Do I really was I part of those board meetings? Nah, I didn't get a seat at the table at that time. So I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, what problem did Lexus solve that Toyota hadn't solved already?
Yeah.
More money for the company of Toyota. That's what it really
Yeah.
solved. And I think GTM ops, if we think about what it solves, there is that mention of product alignment. So product alignment isn't commonly discussed within RevOps, right? But is there anything else that we could really look to and say GTM ops is substantially different than what RevOps is?
No. Honestly, if you need to rename your operations to really get taken seriously at an organization, that means your operations were never strategic to kind of begin with. Like that's the reality of it. If you need to like go to market is a legitimate strategy. Now what we're doing is we're piggybacking off of it and we're trying to legitimize something and say we do this too, right? You know what I mean? Like we are also part of this go to market function. And the reality is like that's not the case. There's so many different involvements and so many different probably organizations and I wouldn't even say organizations, like to tell you the truth, like different aspects of the business is involved in a go-to-market strategy that is not even conceivable in the operational space, right? Just because we execute on it doesn't mean that we're part of that function, right? And this is what we talked about in a couple episodes, is that we don't need a new name. Like we need to execute efficiently, and we need to take what we do seriously, not try to piggyback off of another brand, right? And that's the whole thing with revenue operations. Like you're when RevOps first came out, even when we were thinking about naming this Call It RevOps, I even talked to Kande and I was like, I think we're probably gonna have to change the name
Yeah.
down the line, like for the next strategy, because
Yeah.
that's just how it works, right? That's go to market operations. We see, hey, go to market operations. Our new podcast is GTM operations. Call it GTM ops.
Well, yeah, and the idea too is that if your go-to-market strategy as an organization, as a company, never included marketing, sales, customer success, and product at some point in time, there was a flaw inherent in how you were thinking about things, anyways. Renaming something doesn't mean that alignment is magically there. In the same way that branding something as RevOps doesn't mean sales and marketing get along right away, right? You need to drive execution. You don't need to rename your org charts, and you really need strategic clarity, a disciplined process or a disciplined approach to process that includes these teams, and reporting on the metrics that matter. Not the same metrics for every single person across teams, but metrics that matters for those teams.
And honestly, like, it doesn't really matter. I don't care if you call it RevOps, GTM Ops, Carl, Steve, systematic enhancement, operational design by function, technical architecture, reconstruction, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter, right? Like, if you're not aligning the core things that make a business money, which is marketing, sales, and customer success, you're not going to hit any you're not going to hit any of your targets. You're not going to hit your growth numbers. You're not going to hit your growth goals. And ultimately, at the very end of it, like, you're not really doing ops, right? Ops is a separate function, like, across those three departments, based off on, and obviously, like, it changes with the size of the company, but that's what the focus is. It's always been collaborating. And we talked about it in the last episode as well, is that, a journey doesn't end at close one anymore. It just loops right back, right? Retention of customers is just as important as expansion, is just as important as net new logos. And the people who control that are marketing, sales, and customer success teams, right? And that's what ops is. Like, that is what it was designed to do, is to make sure that the strategic or the strategy that the company has is executed from an operations. We're not going to market, right? Like, we're not going to market with a product just because we send an email about a product that's coming out. We didn't create the product, we didn't price the product, we didn't brand the product, right? We are making sure that the operational efficiency of what we're doing, that is what we're taking into account.
Yeah, when you look at companies that are maybe even one or two steps outside the B2B space, I don't imagine that they have these org charts that really are incredibly RevOps or go to market operations focused. But what you run into, which I'm sure, and I'm making an assumption here, but what you run into is that the experts in the product internally, marketing is experts in the product. Product and marketing are talking all the time. Product and sales are talking all the time. Product and customer success are talking all the time. Because product, if that's what we're adding into this GTM operations, touches every single one of these things. If you don't know the product, how are you going to market it? How are you going to sell it?
How do you know the
How are you,
pricing? How do you know the competitive advantage? Like, there's so
exactly?
many different functions to this, you know what I mean, that you just have to take into account. And we don't, right? We add in a new phrase and we say, now we're involving the product. I mean, we're talking about the same setting where we've been trying to align marketing and sales for the good portion of 20 plus years. And now we're adding customer success and product development. Like, you think that's going to be in alignment? It's completely different job functions. You know what I mean? Like, product is a completely different job function than customer success. So I don't think adding more shit to align with is probably like a good go forward strategy if we haven't been able to align on the crux, which is marketing and sales.
Yeah, the renaming of RevOps to GDM Ops reminds me of like
I
when
don't think it's a renaming, right? I think
Mhm.
now first they renamed it, and then
Yeah.
now they're saying it's just like we said, it's a different function but same. What was that meme? It's like
Yeah.
different but the same, right? Like,
Well, I was gonna say, like, I'm reminded of when you go to buy like some ice cream, and then on the front it says, "Now made with real cream." Like, what were you making with it before? Was it not real cream? Why are you telling
dude,
me this?
it was the McDonald's thing, right? Like, I've been
Yeah,
eating McDonald's chicken nuggets my entire
yeah.
life. One time I saw a sign that says now with real chicken. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell was it before if it wasn't
Was
real
this?
chicken?
Were you giving me synthetic chicken or something? Yeah,
Yeah.
and probably not. Right? They're trying to do something competitive, but if you think about this RevOps, GDM Ops, it's kind of like, okay, exposing maybe what you weren't doing before. So how do you make sure, and this is maybe a good closing thought, how do we make sure that our ops team is not just renaming a function that they should have already been doing?
That's a tough question. Because once again, kind of like, we don't control these things, right? It's just like whatever is trending when we talk about them. Um, I, there's leaders in the space. We've talked about it before. As a RevOps leader, you really need to kind of focus on what your focus is, right? Like, I think a lot of this is fluff, and we live in a world that there's so much of it that trying to retain focus is the hardest thing to do. Even with LinkedIn, when you're swiping through all these strategies, someone's going to somewhere read it, be like, oh yeah, I agree with that, and there's going to be a couple people that don't agree with it. I don't think that there is really a way to like stop like internally what's going on, but I think if your focus stays consistent with alignment of marketing, sales, customer success as a growth mechanism at a company, like call it whatever you want as long as you're doing those things. Like stop adding in more. Like it's just going to become harder. Like eventually, you know, I don't know. Like every single team in an organization is going to be part of an alignment initiative. Let's align HR. While we're at it, like that.
You know, there's an expectation to some degree that you should be doing this already. Like HR
Yeah,
should be invested in the health of the company through
yeah.
how people are being hired on, what the turnover rate is like. In a
We saw that
way,
at the Coldplay concert, man. HR very invested at the Coldplay
there
concert.
you go.
Like
Now, and no amount of
that is
marketing.
true alignment. That is true alignment,
Talk
right
about go to
there.
market operations, you know? And depending on when this comes
Uh,
out, there was this a scandal. A CEO and I think the HR person were at a concert together, got put up
yeah,
on the
the
screen,
Coldplay. Yeah.
and then boom, CEO has to kind of do some
I,
backtracking.
I
But
don't think anyone's gonna forget it. I don't even think we
no,
have to. I mean, we'll put it in the episode. I don't think anyone's gonna forget. They're like, oh, we know what we're talking about. That happened whenever you're watching this episode. Oh yeah, that was like 6 months ago. I know when this episode was recorded.
exactly, exactly. But I mean, with that being said, thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Let's be reminded that GTM ops, it doesn't have to be rev ops with a different haircut. We can do these things right now to, instead of renaming, refitting existing processes, just adopt better operations overall. So with that in mind, we'll see you next time on Call It RevOps.